Welcome to the Socialette podcast, where we empower you with the marketing know-how you need to create the business of your dreams. I'm your host, Steph Taylor, and I'm a marketing nerd, Shiraz lover, and passport stamp collector. Join me as I dive into all things small business marketing and deliver them to you in bite-sized, fluff-free lessons. Hey, welcome back to Socialette. This is episode 154. This episode is brought to you by my free Instagram cheat sheet, 7 savvy strategies to ignite your Instagram. Inside this free Instagram cheat sheet, you'll find 7 real strategies to reach the right people, post better content, grow your audience, and turn these people into paying customers or clients. Head to stephtaylor.co/IG to download it. Okay, on to the episode. This show is mostly dedicated to DIYing your marketing, which is why I don't talk about outsourcing very often. But eventually there's going to be a better use of your time. And it's going to be time to start thinking about outsourcing. The tricky bit is, where do you start? You probably don't want to outsource everything at once because that might just be a little bit overwhelming and it's probably out of your budget. This episode, I'm going to look at where to start with outsourcing and how to figure out what to outsource first. So the first place to look is what's taking up too much of your time. Your time is valuable. I know it's cliche, but time is the only resource you have that you can't get more of. We've all been there. We've been spending hours figuring out how to fix a bug on our website when a professional could have figured it out in a couple of minutes. Or we've spent hours navigating InDesign to create a PDF when a professional could have done it in half the time. What tasks are you doing that are taking you far too long to do? Think about what you could achieve in your business if only you freed up that time. The second way to look at it is look at, what do you hate doing? The magical thing about running your own business is that you get to design what you want your day to look like, and you shouldn't have to spend your time doing the things that you hate. If you hate writing blog posts, outsource them to someone who loves writing. If you hate navigating Facebook Ads Manager, outsource it. Just because you can do something doesn't mean you have to do it if you hate it. Thirdly, what could someone else do better? Yes, maybe you can design that flyer or write your website copy, but will it be as impactful as if you had a professional do it? When you're just starting out, you might choose to DIY it all because you're on a limited budget, and that's totally fine. Like, I did the same, and I still do the same with some things. But after a while, you're going to want to improve the quality of certain things. The first major thing that I outsourced was a rebrand. I designed the logo and the website myself because I started Wild Bloom with literally like $100. But it got to the point where I could afford to get the branding done properly, and I knew just how important good branding was for growing the business. And so I invested in it. Number 4, what's outside your zone of genius? Eventually, you're going to want to spend all your time doing work that's inside your zone of genius, the work that you do best and that you love to do, the work that really lights you up and excites you. At this point, you might look at outsourcing things that you don't necessarily hate doing and that you're not bad at, and that might not take that much time, but they're not in your zone of genius. For me, this would look like me outsourcing the entire podcasting process, except maybe for the preparing and the recording of each episode. I currently do it all myself, and I actually quite enjoy it, but my zone of genius isn't podcast production. Anyway, that's it for this episode. I hope this has got you thinking about where you might start with outsourcing. Maybe you're ready to start outsourcing a few things here and there, or maybe you're still in the early days with a tiny budget. Either way, it's never too early to start thinking about it. That's it for this episode. Head to stephtaylor.co/IG to download my Instagram cheat sheet. And I'd love it if you could take 2 seconds to leave a quick rating and a review for this podcast in Apple Podcasts or iTunes. Thanks so much for listening. Catch you next time.